Very good afternoon, my dear student. So today, under the emerging trend, as I am discussing about the emerging trend, under this emerging trend, today I am going to discuss more points on it. So under the emerging trend, today's point is natural language processing. So what is this natural language processing is? Natural language processing. Now, natural language processing means the way of the computer to analyze, understand and derive the meaning of the human language such as English, Spanish, Hindi, etc. Isn't it? That means the way a computer understand our languages. We speak in different languages. We are speaking the thing in a different languages, making the different pattern of technologies. So all those things, all those particular part what are there, we can find it that those things can be easily understandable by the people. So we have to make a thing, we have to make a machine so that machine can understand our language. So what the technology will going to do, we can find that we can use the machine to understand, analyze, manipulate and interpret our languages. So we have a different pattern of languages. Those the different pattern of languages, what we find it that they are deriving, they are coming out from the different form, different type of what the language what you speak. But the language what you speak, those the language what we find it, that those language we need to give in such a way, we need to make them in such a way so that it can be understandable by the machine. Now, how a machine can understand our language? Isn't it? How the machine can understand our language. That means we have to bring such a technology, in that particular technology where we can find that those the language what we are giving, we can use those technologies and we can use them for understanding and we can use them for interpreting. That means there should be something or the some technology which will going to help us to interpret the words, the spellings, the language, the meaning into a machine understandable form. Okay, so what are the components we can find it in the NLP, that means natural language processing. The two things we find, one is natural language understanding, one is natural language generation. That means which generation, first generation, second generation, like that we know it. In our computer we have seen it, but we do have a different type of generation. So in which generation they are, number one, and what is the understanding level, what do you find the understanding level, what is your understanding features. So all these particular thing we can find it, that can be worked, and based on that what we can find, we can work on the natural language processing system. Okay, so when we are working with the natural language processing system, in this particular natural language processing system, we find this natural language processing system or NLP has many advantages. What are the advantages? NLP help to get the direct response within a second. Okay, number one. Number two, NLP offer the extra answer to the questions. Number three, NLP helps to communicate with the humans in their language. Okay, suppose I understand Nepali, I understand Bihari, I understand Marwari, I understand Punjabi, I understand Bengali. So whichever language I am comfortable, it will work on that particular language. So it is very time efficient or effective, we can say. Time effective or time efficient means that based on the particular situation, based on the time, the thing will going to work. Okay, it improves the efficiency of the document process, the accuracy of the documentation, and identify the information in a large database. That means we can use the large database, and using those large database, what we can do, we can make the thing what usable for us. So this is how what we can find. This is how what are the different pattern of advantages. Now, what are the benefits we can find it, that if we use the NLP, that means we can get the what response very quickly and we can get the work done very quickly. Number one. Number two, what we can offer that whatever the question we are giving, whatever the pattern of questions we are giving, that means what the work we are giving, we can get the answer of that particular work. Number three is that what we can find it, that in this particular language system, what we have, we are looking after for what, for the communication purpose. What pattern of communication? Suppose a person is understanding Tamil, another person is understanding Hindi. So that Tamil language is converted into Hindi and Hindi is converted into a Tamil language. That means who is doing it? One interpreter. So we require an interpreter there, and after doing the interpreter, what we get it? We get the process, we get the accuracy, we get the documentation. So each and everything, step by step, everything is been received by us. So NLP, applications of the NLP, where we apply the NLP. Number one, question answering session. Very common. Number two, spam detections. Okay. Number two, if you have any pattern of sentimental analysis, that can be done. If you have a machine translation, that can be done. Any spelling correction, that also can be done. Speed recognition, that also can be done. Chatbot, that can be done. Information extortions, that also can be done. So all these things what we find, that means if you have any pattern of questions, question answering session, as just now I have said it, that the Tamil is transferred into Hindi and Hindi is transferred into Tamil. So what is that? That is a question answer session that has been applicable. Spam detection, any type of malware is there, any type of particular work that is not working. So all these things what we can find it, that spam detection can be done. Then what we find, sentimental analysis. There is a sentimental analysis, and based on this sentimental analysis, what we can do, we can use it. Okay. Then spelling correction, what we find, that when we are doing the work in this particular work, what we find, that we do have a correction of the spelling. Okay, so spelling correction is required. Suppose English spelling correction or Hindi spelling correction or Tamil spelling correction, any pattern of spelling correction, that can be done with it. So all this particular work what we can find, that can be done with this particular thing. Okay, now chat box means as we are chatting, as we are giving the information, we are doing the information, what we find it, that each and every information what is there can be done in through the chat box. Like I am writing in Bengali, and that has been converted into in an English format, isn't it? So there, when I am doing the chat box, I find some reference codes, reference words, reference thing at the time of interaction with some other people, isn't it? Information interaction, obviously that is a very common thing. Suppose you are sending some information, or as this moment what I am doing, I am giving you some information. So when we are passing the information, what we find it, that our information can easily be transmitted. Okay, so this is how the thing can be done, this is how the thing can be executed. So when we are doing this NLP, what we find is that NLP, like you can see here, a person is sitting here and giving some speech. And as the person is giving some speech, there is a recorder who is going to record it. And you can see the frequency of the line, different frequency of the line. And it is been taken, adapted, and after the thing is been adapted, it will be converted. So that what will happen, it will be transformed into a text. The speech what is been given transformed into the text, and the text what will come, that will be converted into a speech. So this is the thing what we can find, that is text to speech and speech to text. This conversion what we find it, this can be depicted. Okay, we can find this pattern of transitions can be done rapidly. We can find this particular type of languages what we are working with, what we are doing with, all these things can be done in the automated form, in the consumed form. Okay, where we find the computer software can interact with the consumer, and we can find it that the different pattern of language processor, different pattern of language that we are having, the spelling check, okay, all the other thing, different pattern of keywords what are there. So all different type of keywords, there's a depict what we're going to depict, you will going to find it, that each and everything will going to work on a particular process, work on a process of what, process of that can be converted into a particular form, into a particular formations. Okay, so machine help us to what? Translate. Machine help us to translate the thing rapidly and emerge the fields. That means in which field we are working, what we want to translate, what the text is from one language to another form, with one form to the another corrective form. So these are the different pattern of languages what we find it that will going to work. Okay, so as we find it the particular thing will going to work, we can find that they will going to give the services, and based on the services what we find, the work can be conducted. We can conduct the work, we can interact with this particular work. Okay, so this is how we can see it, the work can be done. Now, when we are working with it, when we are finding that we are working with, that is one thing that is called a virtual reality. Reality means the thing is original. Virtually means what we can see but we cannot touch them. That is an virtual. Okay, so that means as we are doing a virtual classes, means you can see me, I can see you, but thing is that we are at a distance. I cannot take your copy and take. You cannot see my copy that what I am writing, isn't it? So this is a thing are there. What is this? This is what one pattern of reality where we can see the thing can be generated very properly, and there is a different pattern of virtual reality can be done. Like one dimensional, we can see the computer generated situations are there. In we can see the thing as like it is a real world. So this particular virtual reality, what we have one headset. See here, the person is wearing one headset. So this particular headset, what you will see the thing, and seeing the thing, what you will going to find, the thing is real in front of him. Okay, so it is promotion the sensory information like sound, smell, motion, temperature, etc. Okay, so this is the thing what we can find it, the thing will going to be instantly work, and from this work we can found it that we can do the work very nicely, and we can find it, and we can understand it, we can learn it, we can give the psychological effect on it, we can give the engineering effect, social science effect, okay, medical effect, military training program, entertainment program, everything we can do it with this particular thing. That means this is the reality part, this is the activation part, where we find it that where the thing is not real. Okay, but though the thing is not real, but we are seeing it, we are finding it as the thing is a real one. Okay, so we are working on it, we are finding it as the thing is a real one, and we seems it, we find it that we are in that particular world. Clear? So this is what we can say about the virtual reality is. This is how the virtual reality will going to work. Now, what we find it that there is an ambiguous reality. Ambiguous reality means there is a supreme positions of the computer. Computer is working on the physical surrounding. Okay, suppose see here the mobile, this particular device, the device is moving and it is saying that in which part what the thing is there. By seeing the picture, taking the picture, it can see you, and you can go and collect the thing from that particular store, isn't it? So this is what we can find it, that we are getting to the ambiguous reality. The thing is there, and based on that particular thing we can find it that there are the different things are available. Okay, so availability of all the things are being implemented, and they can be manipulated how, in a digital way. So we can manipulate the thing in a digital way, we can work with the thing in a digital way. We find that computer is doing, camera is doing the work, isn't it? There is a real-time information we are getting, we are placing the different points, we are getting the different aspects of it. So this is how we can find it, that we can work on it, and we can find it how the thing is being done. So this is about our today's topic. So thank you, student. This is about the session. I am ending the session here. So thank you all.